All right, here we are again with the next 30 questions. So welcome back to the channel of Falingo and let's start immediately. Okay, and here we have the first question out of 30 for today. You are driving in urban traffic on a dry roadway in a stream of traffic traveling at a speed of 50 kilometers per hour. What is the minimum safe distance you must keep from the vehicle in front? 1 meter or approximately 1 car length, 50 meter or approximately 3 car lengths, 10 meters or approximately 2 car lengths. You know the answer? The important thing here is that you notice that we are talking about urban traffic. So we're inside village or town, and there is the rule that you have to give at least 50 meters, 15 meters or 3 cars length distance to the car in front of you. So the one in the middle is correct. What is this minimum safety distance you should maintain from the vehicle ahead when driving at a speed of 100 kilometers per hour? Okay, if you have watched the video from yesterday, I have explained you that outside there are two strategies how to measure the right distance. One was the 2-second rule, which does not help us right now, but the other one was check your speedometer and use half of your speed in meters to have enough distance in front for the vehicle. So that means that if we are driving right now with 100 kilometers per hour, that half of it is 50, so we have to have 50 meters in front to the next car to have the correct safety distance or longer. So let's apply it. 50, here we go, solve it, and yes, that's correct. When driving outside of a built-up area, what minimum safety distance should you maintain between you and the vehicle ahead? 1/2 of the speedometer reading in meters, 1/3 of the speedometers reading in meters, 1/5 of the speedometer reading in meters. So if you've got this wrong, then you're not listening to me. Because I explained exactly that, I would say 30 seconds before. So outside built-up areas, the correct answer is 1/2 of the speedometer reading in meters. All right. When must a car with trailer driving outside built-up areas on roads with only one lane for each direction keep a sufficient distance from the car in front so that an overtaking vehicle may pull in? Answer: when the combination of vehicles exceeds whatever meters. So while you might think, you have to think like that. If you have a combination, so a car and a trailer behind, he has some requirements, and one of them is that you have to have an extra long distance that people who are about to overtake you have it easier to merge in after overtaking you, because you're normally just allowed to drive 80 on highway or landscape, and that's why a lot of cars will overtake you. So the correct answer, when does this apply to you? There is no formula, you just have to know it. It is 7 meters. All right, memorize it. If your car with trailer together exceeds more than 7 meters, you have to give extra space and distance to the car in front of you. All right, you are driving a car with a caravan in tow. What is true regarding your distance to the vehicle ahead? I will open it right now, and I think, let me give a second, I have to move, in this case, my camera. Oh, let me check. Here. Okay, now I can move it and now it's better visible. So we have a caravan behind of us, and there you see it a little bit. There is a car, but now you can see it much better on the left and mirror. There is a red car overtaking us. All right, let's position my camera back. Let's fix it and return to the question. You are driving a car with a caravan in tow. What is true regarding your distance to the vehicle ahead? The distance to the overtaking vehicle must be re-established once it has pulled back into lane. The distance is too large because it exceeds the length of my combination vehicle many times over. The distance is appropriate because the overtaking vehicle can pull back into lane in front of me. So 2 answers are correct. Which ones? The distance to the overtaking vehicle must be re-established once it has pulled back into the lane. So right now you have enough distance to the gray. If the red one overtakes us, merges in, we have to re-establish again that long distance that another car overtaking us has the same opportunity like the red one right now. And it's appropriate because the overtaking vehicle can pull back into lane. Yes, now we are taking reference to the distance to the gray car, and that is appropriate. So the first and the last is correct. You are driving a heavily loaded car. Why should you maintain a greater safety distance to the vehicle ahead? Because the braking distance may be extended, because the handling of the car may vary, because my reaction time may become longer. All 3 sound quite correct, but there is at least 1 trap in it, so just 2 are correct. Which are the correct 2 answers? Because the braking distance may extend, that's true. If your car is heavy loaded, it is heavier and therefore it takes more time, more distance to break it down. And yes, the car starts to behave differently if it's heavy loaded, but my reaction time may become longer is not correct. Yeah, it doesn't matter. I can still catch it even if I'm now fatter or not. Yeah, okay, I don't know if that was a good example, but the reaction time doesn't change if the car is heavy loaded or not. Your reaction stays the same. It's what is changing is your braking distance, but not your reaction. So that's why it's the first and the second one. Great. When driving outside of a built-up area, from what combination vehicle length must you maintain a large distance to the vehicle ahead as to allow an overtaking vehicle to pull back into lane in front of you? Answer: from a length of more than meters. We had it before, something similar, and yes, it's the same distance or length, better say. Yeah, it is 7 meters. All right, just recognize, just memorize it. Not recognize, but memorize it. Okay. You are driving at 100 kilometers per hour on a road, not inside a built-up area. In front of you, a truck is traveling at 70 kilometers per hour. What is the minimum distance you must be from a crest in the road when commencing an overtaking maneuver? Yeah, you are driving 100. In front of you is a truck and he's just driving with 70 and you want to overtake it. And now there is a small hill or something, a crest, so you can't look behind it. And now the question is, how far has to be your distance to safely get to the left lane, overtake the truck with 70 in front of you, and get back with enough safety distance to the truck. Meanwhile, another car might show up and that you still have enough space. So how long has to be that distance? That sounds quite long, and therefore 800 meters is correct. There is a formula, but I hope everyone is happy right now if I don't apply it, because that formula is quite complex. However, if someone is really interested, write it in the comments and I will explain it, but I won't do it right now. It is better, there's just, I think, just that question, and it's easier to memorize that. In that question you have to click 800 than learning the formula for that one. All right, let's go ahead. That was correct. And let's go on with movies. We are driving on highway, 130 is allowed. We are driving 120 and we're about to overtake the blue car. And behind comes a red one. And check out the blue car. Damn, he's seen you. Now he's saying, no, I don't want to be overtaken from a driving school car. I swear you, that is quite common. Very, very often. Okay, go to question. What is the right thing to do in this situation? I chase the overtaking maneuver and move into the right-hand lane. I accelerate and continue the overtaking maneuver. I continue the overtaking maneuver at an unchanged speed. What do you do? What is the correct answer here? And the correct answer for your driving teacher soon, when you're already inside your practical driving lessons. Because this will happen, I'm sure. This will happen to you. What is the right thing to do? I chase the overtaking maneuver and move into the right-hand lane. Exactly, because the blue car is accelerating, so there is no need anymore to stay on the left-hand lane, and you can return back to the right and just go straight ahead with the same speed. Nice. Okay, we're again on highway. We're about to overtake, slowing down because we are forced to, because of these two trucks. Yeah, the green one is overtaking. Check out the blue one, what he's about to do. I think that's quite obviously. Let's go to the question. What must you be prepared for now? That the white truck accelerates, that the blue car begins overtaking, that the overtaking maneuver of the green truck takes longer to complete. That is unfortunately as well quite common on our roads, on the highways here in Germany. We call that elephant race, yeah, because one elephant is trying to overtake the other one with a little bit more speed, and it takes hours until he passes him and everyone behind is stuck. So what must you be prepared for now? Well, that the white truck accelerates now, but the blue car might merge into our lane, yes, and that it takes quite long until the green overtakes the white one, yes. All right, that's correct. Okay, we're driving with 90, this time on landscape. Keep an eye on the sign. All right, I will be quiet to give you a chance to check if you've got it right later, the question. Okay, well, let's go to the question in case you can repeat it in the video, but we will go now straight to the question. To whom must you pay particularly close attention in this situation? To the cyclist, to the red car, to the white truck. Oh, there we can see the red car, for example, he just passed. All right, do you have an idea? It is, the correct answer is to the cyclist. And if you ask me right now, hey, why? Let's watch the film again. We are driving with 80 or 85, and there is the sign And this sign, pay attention, there might cross bicycles from the left to the right. And there is a bicycle right in front, and he's right now riding towards to cross our road, and he's behind this truck, which is waiting there with emergency lights. So if you are about to overtake him right now, you can't see the bicycle, but he will probably cross it and you might crash into him. That's why you have to pay attention to the cyclist. All right, we are driving 70. It's a bit hilly here, outside of built-up areas, and a lot of cars coming towards us. And the suicide driver. Oh my god. Why do you have to slow down here? Because of the SUV, motorbike, tractor. I think if you have put a bit attention to the last video, you've seen it. There was a motorbike coming towards us. And here, if I make it a little bit bigger, yeah, you see there is a bus, a blue car, and this SUV, and the motorcycle is coming out of nothing to overtake all of them or some of them. And we have to slow down if we want to save the life of the motorbike driver, that he's enough time to merge in again to leave our lane empty for us. All right, we're driving 60. A lot of, well, a green truck and a blue car in front of us. And you see he's slightly shifting. So he's checking, can I overtake? There is someone. That's a typical movement from someone who wants to see if I can overtake. So he's checking. No, there's someone coming. Then he returns back to have more space. So let's go to the question. You want to overtake. Why? What should you do now? I do not overtake yet because the blue car could overtake. I follow right behind the blue car if it overtakes. I overtake all the vehicles in one overtaking maneuver. What is the right conduct? I do not overtake yet because the blue car could overtake. Exactly. I told you he was already swinging to the left, to the right to check if it's able. And if you right now start to overtake, the blue car might cross your way as well. And then it takes much longer to overtake all of them. And that's why just the first one is correct. This time we are inside the city. Looks like a city center. We are on a priority road and there's a tram in front of us. Check the rails of it. Ooh, that's quite narrow. All right. What is the right course of action now? I overtake the tram on the left. I do not overtake the tram. I overtake the tram on the right. So overtake the tram on the left. That is not allowed. Remember, there are some rules about overtaking and you're just allowed to overtake him on the right. I do not overtake the tram. I overtake the tram on the right. In that case, if you would overtake him on the right, you see the tram trails or the railway trails or tracks are getting closer to the right. And if you would overtake him right now, we will crash into him or we are forced to enter the pedestrian way. So you are not allowed to overtake it. That's the correct answer. And well, I'm driving in Frankfurt and there it's quite often that you have a lot of situation where the tram is on your side, on your left, no problem. And suddenly you are getting closer to that railway tracks or tram tracks, and yeah, you have to be particularly careful that there is no tram by your side. You have to check, do the Schulterblick, that you're not crushing into one of them. You want to overtake a truck with a trailer. What must you be aware of when doing so? the necessary overtaking distance is significantly increased due to the trailer. The external bodywork of the truck-trailer combination may conceal vehicles ahead. You may only pull out to overtake once you are directly behind the truck-trailer combination. There are just two correct answers. The necessary overtaking distance is significantly increased. Obviously, if this combination makes the obstacle longer, and that's why the overtaking distance is increased. And if you have a huge truck in front of you with a trailer, it's very difficult to look around if there is no coming traffic to overtake him. So that is the correct answer as well. Meanwhile, you shouldn't get very close to it. That's quite risky. If you don't have enough safety distance, the truck stops or brakes and you crash into him. Better don't talk about that scenario, but please don't click it and don't do it in real life. All right, we are driving now. Oh, that's a tricky one, I remember. We are driving outside village. Check out the bus. He's putting emergency light. And he's getting slower for the bus stop. And the motorcycle was overtaking us. I don't know if you saw it. Let's go to the question. Why are you not permitted to now overtake the bus driving ahead of you? Maybe a small question in between before I read all the answers. If the bus has emergency lights on, you're allowed to overtake a bus? Yeah, you are, but just with walking speed. Exactly, that was the correct answer. So let's have a look. We are not permitted now overtake the bus driving ahead of you because the hazard lights of the bus are switched on, because of the motorbike, because of the lack of road markings. Well, maybe what I was talking to you might lead to a mistake. That was correct what I said. You're allowed to overtake a truck with emergency light, but just with emergency lights, but just with walking speed, I'm sorry. But there is another rule applied to that, and that means just if the bus is stopped. And in that video, the bus was still moving. A moving truck getting towards to a bus stop, or a bus which is about to start over again and he has still the lights on, is not allowed to be overtaken. And that's why it's the first one, because the hazard lights of the bus are switched on and the bus is still moving. Yeah, keep in mind. And that's why you're not allowed to overtake him right now. And because of the motorbike, yeah, because he's right now in the dead angle, can't see him, but he's there, and that's why we can't turn left. So these two, keep in mind, if the bus would have stopped at the bus station with emergency light, no bicycle there, no motorbicycle, you would have been allowed to overtake him with walking speed, but because he didn't stop and he was still moving, you are not allowed to overtake him. That's why it's the first and the second one. All right, we are on highway, driving around 90, getting slower, some obstacles, a truck in front of us. Right now, the motorcycle passed us, so we are able to overtake the truck right now. Not that spectacular right now, that video. It's always a bit tricky, yeah, if there's nothing happened. But in that case, really nothing happened. You want to overtake the vehicle driving up ahead of you. What is necessary to allow you to do so? I have to observe the traffic to the rear and side of me. I have to considerably increase my speed. I have to use my indicator to signal my intention to overtake. So what is necessary to allow you to do so to overtake that truck ahead of you? And yes, in this case, all three answers are correct. You observe the traffic, you have to increase the speed, and you have to indicate that you're about to change the lane to the left. Nice. Okay, we're again on a landscape road, speeding up to 90 right now. Oh, there comes a red car and he's about to overtake us. And check the sign. You've seen it? That is the key. What could make this situation becomes hazardous? Oncoming traffic, the red car, the tractor. 1, 2, or 3. What do you think? The oncoming traffic, the red car, the tractor, oncoming traffic, and the red car is correct answer. Why? Because that sign means that it is going down, yeah? So there we are actually at a hill and there we can't see who's showing up. At the same time right now, the red car is about to overtake us. And if someone is showing up suddenly, the red car has no chance to get back to our lane. So it's very risky what he's doing. So in combination, coming traffic with the red car, which is about to overtake us, this situation is very dangerous. We are driving with around 30 inside the city center on a priority road. And there are some parking cars and a bicycle. Wow. All right. One question for you before I go to the question. How much space do you have to give a bicycle distance to your side according to the law? Inside build-up areas. 1.50 meters. All right, I know you knew it. What is the right course of action here? I slow down and wait. I coy. What's that? Oh my god. I coy behind the vehicles already waiting on the right. So it probably means I stop. Okay. I continue driving at a reduced speed. What is the right course of action here? I slow down and wait, of course, because stop behind the vehicles already waiting on the right. No, they are not waiting. They are parked. That's why this one is not correct. And I continue driving at a reduced speed. You said before you have to give 1 meter space to a bicycle to pass it. And if you merge into that narrow road, you won't have 1.50 meter space to the bicycle. And that's why the only correct answer is I slow down and wait. Which motor vehicles may frequently choose their lane inside built-up areas? Answer: all motor vehicles with a permissible total mass of up to tons. That sounds at the beginning a quite difficult question, but it's not that difficult. Let's do it step by step. Which motor vehicles may frequently choose their lane inside built-up areas? So you have 2 lanes or 3, and you remember outside you have to stay on the right one just if you want to overtake, but inside the village you can freely choose. So which vehicle might freely choose? Obviously cars. Trucks not. Trucks have to stay on the right hand side, but a car can freely choose the lane inside build-up area. So now, according to the definition, how much can a car in Germany maximum weight that it's still a car, not a truck? And the maximum is You maybe remember 3.5 tons. Everything above of 3.5 tons requires a truck driver license, yeah, and therefore is not a car anymore. That's why 3.5 tons is the correct answer in that question. We're about to overtake these trucks with 110 kilometers per hour. On the left is a gray car, and check the yellow truck. Whoa, he's getting close to our lane. Probably in the DHL truck. Let's go to the question. How could a dangerous situation arise? Due to a change of lane performed by the yellow truck, green truck, the car up ahead. Well, I actually said it already. Yeah. So it's the yellow truck because he's getting quite close to our lane. And the green truck has nothing to do. He's far ahead in our back mirror, and the car up ahead doesn't matter as well. So it's just the first one which is correct. Okay, we're driving 120 on highway. And there is a car about to enter highway. Oh, what he is doing? Risky. Okay, what should you do now? I immediately change from the left lane to the central lane. I let the blue car merge in front of me. I accelerate. How would you react in that situation? If you have a look here on that picture, I will move again the video a little bit ahead. There you can see it in the blind spot of, well, it's not the blind spot. If it would be the blind spot, we won't see nothing in the mirror, but left behind us is a car overtaking us right now. Okay, so maybe that helped. What should you do now? I immediately change from the left lane to the central lane. Is not possible because we have seen that car on our left. So the only correct answer, why I'm clicking that, you shouldn't click the first one, because the only correct answer is I let the blue car merge in front of me. Even if you have priority, you are a nice, kind driver, and probably one day you will merge in as well, and then you're happy if someone will help you out. So in that case, it's better to use answer number 2. We are driving with 130, and according to the signs, the left lane will merge into the middle one so that there are soon just 2 lanes on that highway. A lot of trucks on our right, and the red car was a bit slower than us. All right, what should you do? I stay in the middle lane and slow down. I move to the right-hand lane and slow down. I move into the left-hand lane and overtake the red car in front of me. 1, 2, 3. All of them? Okay. You should stay in the middle lane and slow down. That is the correct answer. Why? Because if you move to the right-hand lane and slow down, there are trucks and you are probably driving much faster than them. We are driving 130 and the truck is probably driving around 90. So you have to brake a lot. No, you stay in the middle. And I move into the left-hand lane and overtake the red car in front of me is not a good answer neither, because that lane will stop and merge into our one. So the only thing is stay there, overtake the trucks, and however start to slow down that you don't crash into the red car and maintain the safety distance. Okay, we are driving 130 on highway. Oh, Okay, you know, I'm a driving teacher, and I have to tell you that is not only a thing here in theory exam. This happens quite frequently when you're really driving. So let's put attention to that one. What is the right course of action? I reduce my speed. I continue driving without changing speed. I move into the right hand lane. Okay, first about when you drive and you see an exit lane on highway, keep in mind after every exit lane comes an entry lane. And especially if you have a lot of trucks on your right hand side and you're in the middle or one lane more to the left to overtake that trucks, and there comes an entry, there are certain type of drivers who merge in, and not only merge into the highway in between of the trucks, no, they try to do everything to actually get into the left lane to overtake the next truck as well. They've got powerful cars and they are very aggressive drivers, and they, sorry if I say it like this, but they give a shit and just merge in, and they don't care if there is someone in the middle lane. And this happens very often, so you have to be very careful. And that's why the correct answer is I reduce my speed, and you don't continue driving without changing speed, and you don't move into the right hand lane. No, you stay there. You could go to the right hand lane, but it doesn't make sense because you were still overtaking the truck, and more ahead is another one. So you stay there, reduce the speed, that in case that this car will cross into your lane. That's why the first one is correct. And we will have another situation like this. There's the exit. I don't know if you saw the sign. There it is. So keep in mind, where is an exit comes an entry, and check out, there comes another car. And there you see. Let's go to the question. What must you anticipate in this situation? That the gray car will remain in the right-hand lane, the gray car will move into the middle lane, that the yellow truck will pull out in front of me to overtake. In that situation, again, the gray car will move into the middle lane. He was much too fast to stay in that lane, and he will actually cut your way and move in. That's the correct answer. And I tell you, you have to be aware of that. It's a very typical situation you will have quite often on our highways here in Germany. Again, there was an exit. So keep in mind, where is an exit comes an entry. Okay, you're driving 130, observe everything. Okay, let's go to the question. What is the right course of action? I maintain my speed and stay in the middle lane. I maintain my speed and move into the right-hand lane. I reduce my speed and stay in the middle lane. The correct answer is I reduce my speed and stay in the middle lane. So what will happen as well? Let's analyze it. You are in the middle of the highway in lane 2. On the right was an entry lane, and this gray car again was merging in, overtaking some cars, and he's quite fast. So right now he will turn to the left to overtake the yellow car in front of him, or truck. Yeah, this gray car will merge in because he's too fast, and what will happen is that the red car will brake. And if the red car will brake, you have to brake too. So this is what we call, you have to look quite advanced and anticipate what will happen to take action before something dangerous might appear. So in that case is reducing speed, maintain the lane, yeah, but reduce speed because the red car will brake, because the gray one will merge in. All right, good. With some experience, I shouldn't say that, but when you see merging cars into the highway, there are certain type of cars, I won't say the marks or the brands, but with certain brands you have very aggressive drivers and you have to pay especially care that something like that can occur. And yeah, it's true. We shouldn't say it as teacher, but experience will teach you that with certain types of cars you have to be very careful. All right. You are driving on a road that has several marked lanes going in one direction. When should the alternate merging procedure be employed? When a lane comes to an end, if one lane is not continuously free to traffic due to an obstacle, when a merging lane ends on the motorway. You need some knowledge for that one. 2 answers are correct. When the lane comes to an end, that's the zipper alternate merging procedure. They call it the zipper principle, or I don't know, procedure. Yeah, that one gets after another one in, and that is when a lane comes to an end if one lane is not continuous free. And on motorways, no, because you're on a merging lane and all the cars on the motorway have already priority, and you have to check if you can drive faster or slower than them, but you don't have priority and there is not this zipper system regulating the traffic. All right. What is true about using the hard shoulder in this situation? The hard shoulder must be used like a right-hand lane, may only be used in a breakdown situation, may only be used by trucks. Driving 80, and for that question you have to focus that sign. Yeah, there we see the continuous line. Normally you're not allowed to pass over this continuous line, but that is an, how do you say it? Exception. Exactly, it's an exception, yeah, because that sign told us that we are allowed to use it in that case. So the hard shoulder must be used like a right-hand lane is the correct answer in that lane, in that case, because of this blue sign giving us permission. For example, in Frankfurt on the A3 we have that quite frequently. If there's a lot of cars, they open the hard shoulder to have more lanes, that there is less traffic. What is true in this situation about using the hard shoulder? The hard shoulder may only be used by trucks. The hard shoulder must be used in the same way as a right-hand lane. The hard shoulder may only be used in the case of a breakdown. Okay, in that case, we have here the hard shoulder, and there that sign tells us we are not allowed to use it, and this one on top as well. So they can be in combination, but actually just one of them. It could be this or that one on the right. One of them is enough to tell you you're not allowed to use it. Even if there would be no sign, you wouldn't be allowed to use it neither. Okay, so the only correct answer in that one is may only be used in case of a breakdown. Good. Let's come to the last question for today. Where are U-turns prohibited? On clear ways for motor vehicles only, on farm or forest tracks, on motorways? 2 correct answers, and 2 of the answers you are not allowed to do the U-turn, and that is on clear ways for motor vehicles only and on motorways, because on farm and forest tracks it is allowed. All right, I hope you could enjoy this video session and you have learned a lot. Yes, and if you liked it, we see us tomorrow again at 8:30, same time like today. So see you and goodbye until the next time.